Hey guys, Kickassreaction here, and this is a redirect and review for Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters, the original series. This will also include the Japanese openings reaction I did near the bottom or something, so I'll probably add that into the title as well. But yeah, this is a redirect for all of Yu-Gi-Oh! So this is the currently biggest redirect that I've done, because this consists of all 122 episodes. Or actually no, it doesn't consist on all of them, because I lost like maybe 1, 2 or 3. I lost a few of my reactions to them that I currently don't have, but it's pretty much the entirety of the series, you know, like 220 episodes at least. So oh, and sorry, and the movie is in this as well. So yeah, I don't know if I'll add all that in the title. I might just put just Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters. But yeah, I've never referred to this as Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters either, because I usually just refer to this as Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I think the majority of people do actually just call the original series Yu-Gi-Oh! and then they give like the subtitle, the subname to the rest of them, like Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, Yu-Gi-Oh! X, or Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains, and I think the new one's out now, so I don't know what that's called, but yeah. This is also issue 30, I believe, of Half-Assed Reviews, and for those who don't know, Half-Assed Reviews is a series where I go back and give kind of reviews on, videos that I've already done on previous channels that you guys have probably already seen before, but, I don't know, you might not have, so if you haven't, welcome, you're new. And, you know, you don't have to watch this review or anything. The links to the reactions are down below in the description to Mega. Oh god, I don't know, maybe one day there'll be BitChute links for all of these, but there's a fuck ton of stuff here, so I don't know. Yeah, at least all Omega is up. But yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! So, for those who, I guess might not know, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a card-centric game. It basically takes place through card games with little kind of magic and stuff involved in there. So the first arc of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the Duelist Kingdom Arc. It's basically where we kind of get introduced to the items in this series known as the 7 Millennium items, and I think 3 of them show up in this series, and these items have mystical powers that we learn, and the creator of the game, Duel Monsters, Pegasus, I believe, uses one of the items that he owns, known as the Millennium Eye, to actually steal the soul of the main protagonist's granddad, named Yugi, and basically forces him to come to his tournament to basically to win his Millennium item, as Pegasus is trying to collect all 7 of the Millennium items for his own personal gain, and since Yugi has one, the only way he can get it is by forcing him into a game and putting the puzzle up for grabs, or putting. Sorry, I kept thinking I was hearing like a knock or something coming outside. It was getting kind of awkward there, but yeah, pretty much. So as we continue onward with this, the plot of the first season is, of course, the creator of the game basically forces the protagonist, to come to his island to enter into his game tournament with the hope of getting the Millennium Puzzle, which is Yugi's Millennium item, to fuel his own potato goal, as the Millennium items all have kind of different abilities to them. The eye that Pegasus has gives him the ability to read people's minds and to take souls out of people. And Yugi's kind of puzzle is kind of like the main one of the Millennium items, and it has the a spirit of a pharaoh living inside who kind of takes over Yugi's body whenever he gets into a game. In this arc as well, we also meet the main villain of the series, Yami Bakura, as I believe he's called. His real name might have been said in the final arc of the series, but I really don't know. Everyone I know just kind of refers to him as Yami Bakura. So, yeah, and obviously in this arc, the first arc of Yu-Gi-Oh! Really is kind of where the show is kind of basically getting its bearings. It's where obviously the game itself started, and as a result, a lot of the established rules that we know in the game isn't really a thing at this point, like sacrificing monsters, not in the first season. You know, like a lot of game elements as well, and as a result, season 1 is kind of a really weird mixed bag. It's kind of a weird blend with shit, where like they kind of not even trying to hide. They break the rules so much, and they don't kind of follow their own kind of strategies and shit, or their own kind of ruling system. The first season is kind of a big kind of mess in that. The second season in the Battle City arc is where we kind of get more familiar with the game's rules as people basically know on a basic level. But this season kind of just a lot of the times just does whatever it wants, really. And it's best not to really go into too many examples because there are a lot of them. But obviously Yugi gets his grandfather back. He gets all that stuff done, and then we have two more kind of sub arcs in to kind of end off the official first season, where Yugi meets a girl, I think like an 8-year-old girl called Rebecca, who thinks that Yugi's grandpa has stolen a Blue Eyes White Dragon card from her granddad, and this is a special card we learn in the first season to be like one of the rarest cards in the entire game, as there's only 4 Blue Eyes White Dragons in existence, and the main antagonist to Yugi, Seto Kaiba, has 3 of them, and he won the 3rd one from Yugi's granddad and tore it up completely. And so that kind of creates a big kind of potato stuff in that arc, and then we learn that obviously Yugi's granddad, I think his name is Solomon, he didn't lose it and whatever, it's potato stuff like that. And then the last part of the arc isn't even about the fucking game anymore. It's just about this weird dungeon dice monster shit that I think Konami tried to market off as a separate game aside from just the card game, but it went fucking nowhere, and as a result we never see the Dungeon Dice Monsters game again. But it does kind of introduce another kind of background side character into the story called Duke Devlin, so yeah. But then we get into what I would really consider to be the main kind of thing of the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. You know, this is the Battle City arc, and the Battle City arc is the longest thing in Yu-Gi-Oh! It takes place over the entirety of Season 2 and half of Season 3, like the second half of Season 3, so it is a big thing, and in this arc we meet the new kind of bad guy of the series, or of the arc, called Marek, and he is another Millennium Items wielder who has the control over the Millennium Rod, which is able to brainwash people. And he is after the most powerful cards in the game, called the Egyptian God cards. And Seto Kaiba is given one by Marek's sister to obviously she has the ability of the Millennium Necklace, which gives her the ability to see into the future. And she uses this to see into the future and learn that if she gives the one of the Egyptian God cards to Kaiba, which is called Obelisk the Tormentor, he will start a tournament and have agreed to obtain the others, and it kind of gets into this whole potato shinbag. Eventually Yugi ends up winning one of the Egyptian God cards directly from Marek himself, and now they have the now it's kind of obviously where the main bad guy has won the cards, the antagonist has one, and the main hero has one, and so the whole kind of tournament is kind of centered around gaining these specific 3 monster cards, and it is crazy stuff. And obviously this arc is really cool, not just for the main plot, but the fact that we get to see all these different kind of duels, as obviously the main rules are in effect now, so life points have been booted up, sacrifices are a thing, attacking directly is a thing now, as even that wasn't a thing in the original in the original season of Yu-Gi-Oh! At all, so even that's kind of potato right there. And you know, we get to see obviously not just Yugi going through all these duels, but of course you have Kaiba, you have Joey, who is Yugi's best friend. You have a lot of fun stuff in this arc, and it is truly one of my favourite arcs in all of anime, just for like the premise and because of how much fun we get to see these duels in it. It might even be my favourite arc in anime. I just love this arc so much for how big it is and how really cool it is to have all these different duels and obviously these different ways of seeing the game. It's really cool like that, but like I said, Battle City is a major, massive arc in this series. It's a lot bigger than the final arc in the show, and obviously around like near the end of season 2, we learned that Marek is actually kind of being possessed by a darker side of him, which is created by childhood trauma and shit, and we get introduced to what I believe is dubbed as Yami Marek, and Yami Marek is kind of like the a different kind of Marek, a crazy amount of hair for without doubt, and this Marek is kind of my favourite character in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, which I really do like. I fucking love Marek, man. He is so great, and yeah, he is potato. And then we get into a subplot. I think why this arc was created is because the anime caught up with the manga in terms of the writing, and as a result, the anime didn't want to stop, so they created this sub plot right in the middle of the Battle City arc, where it's like a 22 episode arc in and of itself, just to keep away from the main stuff, and it focuses on Kaiba's origins, for like how he because Kaiba and his brother Mokuba are both adopted, and it kind of goes into the potato stuff with him, and how like there was a son of his original father, of his adopted father, who should have gained control of Kaiba's company, and all that kind of weird shit. And it's basically like a digital world as well. Oh yeah, I actually forgot there was another arc in season 1, a digital one with where Kaiba's kind of employees actually betray him, and they come back in this arc, and it's like another game digital world where they're kind of focused. And while it is cool, I do like this arc in some cases. It is really weird because we already had a arc of people going into an actual game, and they just kind of brought that back for this one, and it is really weird for that reason. But, you know, the arc kind of means nothing because it's not really an official thing in the manga, although I do like seeing it. It does bring in a lot of old cards, like Exodia, a staple card in the series, like that's brought back in this arc and everything, and it is really cool. But like I said, it is a subplot arc, so the Egyptian god cards aren't in this, Marek isn't in this for much at all, and it's really kind of potato. But obviously the second half of Season 3 is where they get back into the Battle City stuff, and it's where we kind of get into the really weird stuff of the series. There's Marek, who is definitely shown to be the most skilled person with the Millennium Item that he wields, uses it to cause powers, mystic powers called the Shadow Realm, to start fucking up the duelists. And Merrick is kind of cool, but a lot of what happens in his games that I think is kind of weird for him is that a lot of the wins he gets in the series are based off the shadow games he creates to play against. So, for example, the first one he played against was Mai. He kind of had a weird kind of win in that one, because the way she couldn't win was that she took his god card and she couldn't use it because she couldn't read the text on it because it was written in ancient Egyptian, and so he gained control of it by reading the text out and won like that. And then in Joey's game, he has he wins by kind of just ruining Joey's strength, where he kind of just faints to the ground. Otherwise, Joey would actually have won the duel, and it's kind of weird like that. It really shows that Merrick's deck is kind of weak, but because of the weird, intense games he plays, that's why he's winning. So it is pretty weird like that, I'm not gonna lie. But obviously, that happens. We get the ultimate, kind of like what is probably like the best duel in the entire series. Is it's like Yugi and Kaiba's final duel in the series. Can you believe that? That's kind of weird as well, since we're in Season 3. There are 5 seasons, but they don't duel after this at all. But it is a grand match where their god cards clash, and it's like the longest duel in the series. I think it's like 5 or 6 episodes long. It's that big, and it is a major thing in this. And obviously we get to the final arc, which is Yugi's greatest challenge, where it's against him and Merrick, and obviously Yugi ends up winning in the end. And obviously the whole massive arc, which has been such a long thing up to this point, like it started from episode 50, I think, and it's gone on from like episode 130, so it's a massive arc, and it obviously it is a great satisfying conclusion to what has been known as like the main part of Yu-Gi-Oh! And then we get into another filler arc, which was not in the manga. I don't know why this one was created, but it's the Yori Kalkos arc. And it's basically a bunch of weird stuff. I don't want to get into this arc too much, because although I do like it, it's pretty weird. And the basically is that like it's like this dude named Darts who's trying to like revive an ancient creature or whatever. And you know, that's kind of the whole weird thing there, where he's trying to use this ancient power. It's supposed to be even older than the main magic power itself. Like, it's supposed to be twice as old as the Millennium Items and all the crazy magic shit we've been seeing so far. And like, it takes place in Atlantis, and it's really kind of, they really kind of try and build it up to be even more major than what we already know is like the major endgame stuff of the series. And for that reason, it is kind of weird. But there are a lot of cool duels in this arc. Like, this is the first time Yugi, the main protagonist, actually loses a game legit without any kind of cheating going involved. Like, the villain he faces plays incredibly fair, and he actually legitimately wins the duel. So it's kind of crazy to have the main guy lose, considering Yugi hasn't really lost a duel this entire series. So it's kind of crazy to have him win that time, or have him lose that time, sorry. And then we get into the final stuff with Darts, where he has a great duel as well. He's got probably one of the most broken decks in the entire show. No, he does have the most broken deck in the entire series, but due to obviously anime protagonist Potatoes, he loses. And then the arc kind of ends after that stuff. But then we get into yet another filler arc, which, you know, this series has way too many filler arcs. This is like fucking Naruto. Which I haven't seen, by the way, but it's infamous for its fillers. But we get into like a grand tournament arc, another arc that Kaibo makes up. Like, I don't even want to talk about this arc. It's pretty boring, not gonna lie. But then we get into the final part of the series, where we go into like the Egyptian stuff with the main character in the series. It's cool because the main enemy in the entire series is Yami Bakura, and he has been throughout the entire like the first arc. But he really kind of has just kind of been getting his ass kicked at this point on. Like, he had an incredible duel with Merrick in the second season, which I absolutely do love, despite the fact that he kind of got bitched out like quite badly. And then you know, he finally gets his stuff in this arc, and because the arc's premise is where we go back in time to kind of like Egyptian time, we don't really get necessarily many kind of card game duels in a sense. It's kind of showing how games were played back in the day, where like real monsters and shit, so there aren't really magic and trap cards and stuff like that. It's kind of like its own real thing, and I think it is actually pretty intriguing, not gonna lie. I did enjoy this arc quite a bit, and it was definitely what I would consider to be a really cool end to the series, where we finally learn the events about the Shadow Games, and like how obviously a lot of the crazy magic stuff, where their origins came from, and like how every monster kind of has a spirit behind it that they've been going on throughout the entire series. I really do like that. And then we get to the final duel in the series, which is Yami Yugi versus regular Yugi, and it is a really cool duel, since it does bring up the fact that every single game Yugi's ever been playing against, it has been Yami Yugi playing them, and now it's finally a point where they can both play a game against each other, and Yugi can finally overcome the fact that he was not in control the entire time, and that he can win. And what a big point of this has been is that I think that's kind of been established since the start of the series, is that the spirit, which is actually named Atem, cannot take losing very well at all, and it's kind of like the final. Damn, son, 3 times in a review? That's pretty bad. But, yeah, what I was saying was that, the spirit obviously has to learn to actually lose like a game legitimately, because it's been shown that he can't actually, take defeat. It's kind of a big thing of his character at that point, since he's always kind of won. And, obviously this is the first time where he truly has, accepted the loss, and that's what makes his spirit finally be able to rest. And I think it is really cool like that. And then once the Pharaoh accepts the defeat that he truly does do without holding back in a game, his spirit finally gets put to rest, the Millennium items get permanently sealed off, and then the series kind of ends. And that's pretty much it for Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters. I did love this series. I thought it was really, really good, and I know that I did the dub and a lot of shit was changed because of 4Kids and all that shit. You know, that's just 4Kids for you. I need to watch the sub one day. But, yeah, guys, that's going to do it for this. When we get back into Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know, but I at least got to do the goddamn, the Dark Side Dimensions movie at some point, which I do plan to do. So that will come eventually, but I'm not sure when. And so, yeah, guys, that does it for this video. Like I said, links in the down below in the description, and I'll see you guys next time.